Trust us. We're going to help you navigate through all of these emotions. We're going to help you invest in a relationship that's actually going to be an asset instead of a detriment to your successful reentry.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we want to talk about a subject that might be a little bit controversial.
This is Wait, Just Date. And this is for all of you out there that are in a relationship, you're not married yet, you might even have children together, or maybe you started your relationship inside the institution. But what we're going to tell you is how to have a healthy relationship across a lifetime.
Now listen, fellas and ladies, this might be something you don't want to hear, so we want to talk about this because when we say wait, just date, that means we're going to talk about don't go home if you're not married, if you're not in a total committed relationship. When I'm talking about no ringy, no dingy, right? That's what we're talking about here. We want to help you start off with a healthy relationship, doing it right, because everything else you've been doing up to this point, guess what? It's not working, or we wouldn't be watching this video today.
We have seen so many couples rush to destruction because the guy or the girl gets released from prison, moves in with her boyfriend, moves in with his girlfriend, and disaster strikes. And we're tired of watching these relationships fall apart because they're not ready to reunite. They don't take the time to build a foundation upon which they can build a lasting relationship.
Wait, just date. Let's say that together, everybody. Ready? Wait, just date. And that's what we're talking about today. You know, really want to build something that's not only credible, but long-lasting, where people will respect you, will honor you, because you're honoring yourself. You're respecting yourself. So we're going to dive deep into this. We're going to talk about what does it mean to wait and just date? What does that look like for you and your family and for everyone else in your life?
Stop rushing just to fail. Your whole life, I guarantee you that if you're in the situation you're in right now, that you have rushed to get something, you've rushed past good judgment in order to fail. This is something that is so important, you can't afford to fail. As you're building this new foundation across the time that you're separated, don't rush into a live-together situation just to see destruction happen and watch all that you have built fall apart.
So we're going to be talking about what does it take to just wait. Right? It's going to take a new level of discipline, a new level of self-control, a new level of what it means to be honorable, what it means to be a man or a woman worth following, a TYRO.
Delayed gratification. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what it means to just date and wait. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to TYRO. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina. And Ron and I are the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word, which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Your job isn't to extract value from your friends, your family, or your community. Your job is to create value in every situation that you find yourself in, to help others become more successful. So what I want you to do is I want you to list 3 things that you add to your friendships, to your family, and to your community.
Listen, you are fighting every day for something, and maybe you don't even know what you're fighting for, but when TYRO comes into your life, it's there not only to empower you, but to give you a clear vision and a clear direction of what you're fighting for.
So really what TYRO means is to fight for your legacy, to become a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
Hello guys, I'm Jermaine Hall, lead coach of the TYRO Fit Skills program.
And I'm Ron and Cathy Tijerina, the Senior Director of TYRO Support Services. We've partnered together to bring you such an amazing workout program that's going to take you to the next level.
Because there is a measure of joy and a measure of pain in everybody's life. So when we think about shock and the impact of shock, typically people don't find themselves stuck in shock. Most of the time, people can navigate out of that.
So here's what we want you to do. We want you to think of a time that you experienced shock in your life, and we want you to write it down. Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about wait, just date.
Wait, just date might sound like a corny phrase, but I'm telling you, this will be the difference between having a healthy, thriving relationship and going through all kinds of trauma and drama. When he or she returns back home, when you go home, you don't want to go right back into trying to establish a relationship while you're also trying to reestablish your reputation in society. One step at a time. Think delayed gratification and long-term success.
And, what does it mean to just wait, just date? Because what's happening is while you're incarcerated, when you're in a place where you're able to reinvent yourself, really figure out things of what you want to be when you get out or what you want to do, you're becoming healthy, right? You're not eating fast food. You're not putting garbage in, right? You're focusing on your future while you're incarcerated. You're rehabilitating yourself. You're studying, you're learning, you're reading, you're walking, you're working out. You're doing all those things that you're supposed to do while you're incarcerated. But what's happening to your family who's on the outs, that they don't have that luxury. They don't get that luxury where they can lay down and just rest and not worry about paying the bills and all those things that happen when you're incarcerated, right? You got 3 meals, you got a cot, you got everything else you need to survive in that environment. But on the streets, guess what? Not only is it the same when you left it, but it possibly even worse than when you left it. Why? Because now that one individual, whether it be him or her, has to be responsible for everything that the two of you were supposed to take care of before you went into prison.
So as you transition out of prison and go back home, and you may be thinking, you know what, I'm going to rekindle this relationship with this guy or with this woman who I used to be in a relationship with, and now I'm going to rekindle that, I'm going to transition back home, and I'm going to move in with them, and we're going to start fresh. Terrible idea. We have seen it happen over and over and over again, where it seems all romantic and everything's great when you've got all this space between you and you're able to process through things individually in your different areas. But then when you are in this confined space 24/7, the sparks start to fly and you start thinking, my gosh, what the heck was I thinking? All the drama on top of us accepting these new responsibilities of citizenship as you transitioned out. All the stress of paying bills, getting a job, reestablishing yourself, and trying to work through relationship stuff doesn't work. If you're not married, take your time, live apart, date, wait. Don't rush into it.
Trying to put all this in perspective and really understanding the discipline that it takes to maintain that abstinent mindset. We're talking about abstinence from even the home, right? We're talking about abstinence from sex. We're talking about abstinence from all the drama that you left prior to being incarcerated. People who go to prison, when they find themselves in there 9 times out of 9 times, right? 10 times out of 10, there was dysfunction happening in the house. And we're telling you right now that when you leave the institution and you go back into your home and you're not in a committed romantic relationship, we're talking about being married, right? You're still dating, you're still living together. You go back into that same mindset that you left. Chances are 10 times out of 10, you're going to reinvent all that or start up all that garbage again. Why? Because you didn't slow it down. You didn't take your time rebuilding a relationship of friendship and how that you want to live together as a married couple, how you can strive and grow together in a relationship that you'll be proud of. Not one that's filled with domestic violence, a lot of
drama.
hate, drama, the trauma that took place prior to you going to prison.
So the number one question I get from women whose husbands or men are about ready to transition home is, how do we make it through this transition? I'm really nervous, I'm really scared, it seems like he's changed and yet I'm not really sure. And so I always tell them, slow it down. Even if you're married, make the transition as slow as possible. Get used to each other, talk, communicate. And especially if they're not married, my number one advice is don't rush to live together, because I've seen it over and over again. It is disastrous. If you really care about this person and you really want to have a long-term relationship, slow down. Give each other the time and space for this big adjustment in your lives. Don't rush into living together. Take your time, and we're going to talk a lot about how do you do this? How do you put together a foundation for a relationship that will last across a lifetime as we go through this show?
You know, a lot of times the guys are getting out and they meet somebody and they want to go and live with that person, that lady, right? They want to go in there because all they're thinking about is, we're going to keep it real, fellas, right? You're thinking about sex. You're thinking about going home and you're finally going to get you some, right? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's your first mistake. You're not even talking about having a healthy friendship, a healthy lifestyle together. You're thinking in your lower state of mind, you're thinking about just having sex. Why? Because you feel that you've been deprived while you've been incarcerated. Well, you know what? Instead of embracing the abstinence that you've been practicing and the discipline that it takes to practice abstinence, take that mindset with you into your relationship and actually tell the lady in your life, tell her, listen, I want us to be healthy. I want something brand new in my relationship. So instead of us rushing in together and sleeping together, let's do it the way I should have done it. We can do this better than ever before. Let's do it the right way. Let's get to know each other. Let's figure out what my role is in our relationship and how we're going to make this work. Let's not sleep together right away.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about why this is so important. So stay tuned because you do not want to miss this. We'll see you soon.
Finding your purpose should not be rocket science. Why is it in life when we get excited about something, when something comes our way and we know that this is our purpose, we know this is the reason why we were put here on earth, we allow life and the circumstances thereof to snatch our joy, to steal our dreams? Why is it that we allow those things to just suffocate our growth?
Because we make it so complicated. You need a program that shows you the process, that lays it out in front of you so that you know exactly when you're on track to unleash your fullest potential.
Because the word is, if you're faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the big things.
In this program, we're going to teach you the process to actually reach your dreams. Some of you don't even know what your dreams are, so we're going to help you unlock that and unleash that. And then we're going to give you the process to step through all of the challenges, overcome every single obstacle in order to reach and achieve those dreams.
Part of the process of you becoming a new person for you is understanding what it means to be a TYRO, right? You're going to start reciting a pledge that is going to become your new mantra for your life, called the TYRO Pledge. And I promise you, this would change the way you think about you.
We're going to teach you the difference between a value statement and an observation. We're going to give you the formula on how to be successful in investing your time and energy. We're going to walk you through the process of developing a mission statement.
This is not going to be easy. This is not a cakewalk. But if you're ready to live up to your greatest potential, to take on every challenge that's in front of you and conquer them, then you're ready to be a TYRO.
You must know you are not on this path alone. As you go through this course, you're going to be going through this course with people all across the world. There are TYROs worldwide that are waiting to welcome you into this community, to become a person worth following and join the network that is transforming their lives and their communities.
The greatest honor of completing TYRO is to earn the TYRO pen. Many people from across the world, from all walks of life, have earned the TYRO pen by completing the 12 workshops that are in this program. But just because you signed up, and maybe you showed up for one or two of them, doesn't give you the right to earn the TYRO pin. You must complete this entire program to be pinned a TYRO.
This pinning is an outward symbol of something that's happened on the inside. Because throughout the TYRO process, you are going to be awakened to your purpose and your dreams. Your heartbeat begins to resurrect and beat again for the passion of being a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
If your dreams don't scare you, then you are not dreaming big enough. Sign up for this program if you're ready to be pushed to your greatest potential. Sign up for this program if you're ready to live the next level of life. You have what it takes. Everything that you need is right inside you. We're here to help you pull it out, your greatest potential. Quit running from yourself. Become the man or the woman that you were called to be here today, right now.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about Wait, Just Date, and we still hope that you're taking some notes down because we know there's some people out there right now saying we don't know what we're talking about, right? And they don't want to hear it.
And I promise you, we know what we're talking about. Not only did we experience this huge transition as Ron returned home, we were married, but he had been in prison for 15 years. This was a big world-rocking experience for us to navigate through that transition.
And it was scary. And let's be real, fellas. You come home and somebody else has been taking care of you for the period of time. Listen, all that responsibility that you had prior to going to prison, you don't have that while you're incarcerated. And you got to be real about what level of responsibility you have while you're incarcerated, right? And that's not very much. I didn't have to pay any bills. I didn't have to prepare my food if I didn't want to, right? If I didn't have any commissary or any ramen noodle soups, I knew I was going to get 3 meals that day. I didn't have to worry about heat. I didn't have to worry about hot water. All that was taken care of me. So it's a big change when you come home and now you have to be what? You have to be the man of the house. You got to pay the bills. You got to live up to your reputation, right?
And it's a lot of pressure. So not only did we experience it, but we have seen it, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of times where relationships rush in to live together. They're not married. Either they were in a relationship before he went to prison or she went to prison, or they've rekindled a relationship while one of them was in prison, and now they're rushing because they have this glorious idea of the happily ever after in their mind, and it doesn't look that way. Because you are both working through a huge transition as this person is now transitioning from the outside, from the inside to the outside, from outside your home to inside your home. So we're talking to both of you. We're talking to the person that's transitioning from inside prison. This is a big deal. You have a lot to navigate through. The last thing you need is to have to navigate through all the pressures of an intimate relationship confined under one roof. You already have all this other pressure. Figure that out, and then if you're dating, you have the opportunity to invest in your relationship with the energy that is available to you to be able to do it in a healthy way.
Listen, when you leave prison and you come back to society and you come back to your home, wherever you're gonna come home, you're bringing a lot of trauma with you. Prison isn't a cakewalk. That type of environment traumatized you in a way that you don't even recognize. And maybe you do recognize it. Maybe you understand, you know what, I just experienced something that not only traumatized me, but left scar tissue, right? And so you gotta be real with that, right? There's such a thing as having nightmares when you come home from prison. And so if you're not dealing with it in a way that you're talking with people, you don't have a life coach in your life, you're not having a support group to really how to navigate from being incarcerated to back into society, and you don't have a way to really grow from it and learn from it and be healed from it, you will bring that poison or that experience you had into your family. And if you never dealt with it, you never talked about it with anybody, it's gonna come out in a way that's volatile. Right? If you put enough pressure on a pipe, what happens? It will explode. And so if you're dealing with all that trauma and drama that you experienced in the penitentiary, and you come home and thinking that everything's gonna be great, but you haven't dealt with what you experienced, guess what? You will relive what you left.
You need time, a season in your life to decompress, to make the transition in a healthy way, to be able to invest in a healthy way into your new relationship or renewed relationship before you rush in. This is so important because you are trying to set new foundations, you're trying to create new habits, you're trying to create a new legacy. And the worst thing that you can do is move in with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and try to do that in the midst of all of that emotional drama that's gonna happen. Trust us. We're going to help you navigate through all of these emotions. We're going to help you invest in a relationship that's actually going to be an asset instead of a detriment to your successful reentry.
As a TYRO, you begin to recognize the honor in other people. You begin to respect other people. You no longer objectify people. You don't see people in your life, and we're talking, listen fellas, you're not seeing the lady in your life as an object anymore. You're seeing her now as something valuable, an asset to you, and therefore you will respect and honor her in a way that you maybe have never done in the past prior to being incarcerated. This is a big deal. You know, Cathy mentioned you're building a new legacy. Why is this important? Because if you have children and you never want them to experience what you just went through, right, then that means you got to change your direction. You got to change your thinking. You have to change everything about you prior to going to prison, right? Everything that got you there, because guess what? Whatever it is you were doing prior to going to prison didn't work. And it's time to reinvent yourself, pivot to something that will work in you and your family's life.
As you slow down and invest through dating into a relationship, you are going to build something that far exceeds your expectations. When we come back, we're going to tell you how to do it, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm your coach, Tremaine Hall. We're looking forward to getting you to the next level in where you want to be in fitness. Our whole method is to make you mentally tough and also physically strong. We're going to start with dynamic warm-up, lower core, upper body, and also full body blast. Get ready to take your fitness to the next level with TYRO Fit and Stenos.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about wait, just date.
And what we're talking about is don't rush to live together. Don't rush to be under the same roof, because that's just going to increase tension and stress as you practice re-entry and successful re-entry. Going from inside prison back into society is a big deal, and it has a ton of pressure around it. You don't need to add the relational pressures of living with someone that you are not married to.
Now, we're advocates of getting married, right? We know the benefits of being married versus the pitfalls of just living together. Listen, gentlemen, real men don't play house. We build house, right? We build a house. We build a home, and that's what we're challenging you to do. We know it's going to be tough, but you can make a plan now. So we want to talk to you. How do you do this? How do you reintegrate in society successfully? So what? The number one thing in your life is not to go back to prison.
And as you consider your reentry plan, think about your living space, right? We want you, first of all, take a minute just to yourself. This is personal. Write down all of your goals. What are the challenges that you're going to face as you transition from prison back into society? Think about it. Do you need to get your driver's license? Do you have fees? Do you have fines? Do you need to get a job? What are the things that are going to be pressures on you as you reestablish yourself in a healthy way in society? Make that list.
And then the second thing is we want you to talk about it. Talk about it with your significant other. You know, because the two of you, even though you may not be living together, and for sure you're not sleeping together. Remember, if you're not married, listen, real men build houses. We don't play house. I can't say that enough. So when you come together to work out your goals, you got to talk about this. You can't be afraid to say, you know what? I need your help. I know I got to get a job, but I don't have my license yet. So can you take me to my interview? And all these things, you got to be real. Maybe it's to go get your license. You can still work together without sleeping together.
As you talk to your partner, I want to reassure you that many people on the outside are nervous about the reintegration and the reestablishment of both of you under the same roof. So this is going to come as a relief. It's going to be a relief. They're going to be like, whew, yes, we're on the same page. We want to take it slow. We want to really get to know each other again. A lot has changed since you've been gone. So if you really want a connection that's going to last a lifetime, talk to your partner. Talk to your partner about your plans, about the challenges that you're facing, and how you want to navigate through reestablishing your relationship in the midst of reestablishing yourself as a free person.
Listen, when you come home, fellas, there's going to be some underlying triggers that with your lady, right? You living together. You guys have kids together, right? You went to prison. You left her with a big mess. And she's had to deal with it for quite some time. So guess what? She's probably a little bit angry, right? She may be ticked off. She may be a little bitter. So you got to deal with these things and be real. It's okay for her to be angry. It's okay for her to be upset. Fellas, you left her
high and dry. So after number one is make your own personal plan. Write down everything that you need to achieve upon reintegration and going back home. Number two is now talk to your partner about it. Hey, these are my goals. These are the things I need to do, and listen to what they want from their life. Now, number three, this is really important because you're going to do this together. You need to put into place a reintegration plan. We're not talking about reintegration like leaving prison, going into society. We're talking about the reintegration into your family. What is that going to look like? What do you each want to see before you're ready to actually live under the same roof together? Is it that, hey, you know what? I really need to achieve these 10 things. Or you know what? I really want to get to a place where I can fill in the blank, right? And once you have that in place, it's going to bring security and safety to your relationship. You're managing expectations. You're taking it slow. You're letting your partner know how much you value them, that you don't want them to get in the crossfire of you trying to figure out who you are as you come back, but instead you want to honor them and have them in a very special place where you're investing in the relationship and working together to creating the best lifestyle possible for both of you.
The number one key to success for your reentry is if you can reintegrate back into your family successfully, chances of you going back to prison have really dropped down to nothing, right? You will be successful with society if you're successful with your family. This is the key to success. We guarantee you, if you can manage the drama, the trauma that's in your family, right? Because guess what? We are the authors of our own chaos.
Yep.
But if you can come back and you can bring healing to the land that you destroyed, right, you will be successful in reentry, because everything else will just be what it is. Because when your home is beautiful, when your home is filled with love, when your home is filled with trust, when your home is filled with safety, guess what? It doesn't matter what's happening out there, because the two of you got it together and you're being successful together.
And this does not happen by accident. It's not like, oh wow, look, they reintegrated and everything was wonderful and magical and beautiful. It doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of effort and intentional investment in your relationship. When Ron was released from prison, for a year, we had a reintegration plan where slowly he was reintegrated back into our home and into our lives, because we wanted it to last forever. We wanted him to have that time to decompress and be able to figure out everything else. And it worked. So we know what we're talking about.
Man, you know what? I mean, when you think about that, after being incarcerated for 15 years and having to reintegrate a relationship, knowing what my role is in this relationship, because no longer was I a passive actor in our relationship. Now, I had an active role from prison, but I was also passive. I wasn't at home, right? I wasn't there to manage everyday life.
When we come back, we're going to wrap it all up. We're going to take a short break. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about wait, just date.
We've talked about the importance of waiting to reintegrate into your family, why it's so important as you're establishing a brand new legacy, and how this doesn't just happen by chance. You must be intentional. This has to be a #1 priority for you to establish a healthy family, because if it's not, you are going to fail. Not just at establishing a healthy family, but in other areas of your life as well. This will set you up for success. We gave you those 3 key things that you can do to ensure that you re-enter your family and your relationship in a healthy way.
Now, there's some of you out there saying that we are crazy. We don't know what we're talking about. Some of you right now are in the day room watching this, or in your bunk area, wherever you're at, and you're watching this, and you're saying, they're out of their mind. I'm going home. And guess what? I'm going to have sex. I'm going to be with that woman, and I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Well, some of you are having that attitude. Guess what? That's a grown man or a grown woman with a little girl or a little boy issue, right? Your mentality, you're still stuck in elementary level. Healthy adults don't think like that. Healthy people don't aspire to just have sex anymore. When you're healthy and you want to create something new, you will begin to do something new, something you've never done before, and something you're doing right now. You are practicing abstinence. Embrace that to the fullest of what you're doing. You're practicing self-control. So when you do come home, you can continue that process of practicing self-discipline, so you don't begin a relationship in chaos. Because when you have sex prior to marriage and everything else, guess what? It brings so much drama and trauma that you're going to go back to where you started from.
Success does not just happen, and we've said this before. You must plan for success and work your plan. So the 3 things that we told you to do, we're going to summarize really quickly. Number 1, sit down and make a list of the things that are important to you, the things that you personally need to achieve in your life, unrelated to your relationship. The second thing, talk to your partner, share those with each other. And the third thing, together, put together a plan of reintegration that you know will position both of you for success across a lifetime.
And that's a key word right there. Will position you in a place of where you will be successful for a lifetime. Why? Because many people are counting on your success. Many people have been waiting for you to be successful. You have the potential to not only live up to your potential, right, but to create a legacy for all those coming behind you that could be not only proud to come behind you, but to follow in your footsteps.
You will never find us telling you something just because it's popular, or just because it's something that you want to hear. You will always hear the truth from us. The truth is, if you want to be successful, you have to wait, just date, get to know each other all over again, figure out those relational nuances before you live under the same roof again together.
So thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your journey. And always remember, until next time, that we are rooting for you.